Welcome, guys, to tonight's stream. I'm excited. It's been a while. Glad to be back. And a little surprise, we're going to switch it up just a little bit tonight. Instead of our usually scheduled maintenance and upkeep on our bathroom tools like hair dryers and hair brushes, stuff like that. We're gonna just do a little bit of painting tonight. So I apologize if you guys came here for that, but we're just gonna get right into painting after I show off some of our cool resin sculpts that we've been printing here at GameGrid. We got 2 resin printers that we're going non-stop printing awesome sculpts. Like all of these is just a portion of what we have so far. A lot of them still have some of the supports and bases stuck to them and we gotta take off. Like this guy's got all of these stringy, but I thought maybe I should leave it like that. I think it looks really cool, these little tendrils coming off, and maybe even, I don't know, kind of paint them like they're goopy, coming out of the goop around them. We'll see. But all these just really cool models that we ordered from a freelance artist online, and we can print and sell these, paint them how we want. We got a frog guy, kenku, squirrels, demons, elephants, all sorts of great miniatures for D&D campaigns or just anything really. And I'm excited. I'm loving them. But tonight we're going to be painting one in particular, and it's that primed guy in the back. Just got to put these to the side real quick. The model sculpt name is a Wendigo. It's a little bit different than the Wendigos I'm used to. It's oh, come on, focus again. Come on, I have to block those paints. You see my massive bicep. There we go. It's like a mossy wood elk. It's got a bunch of the really small. I think this model's supposed to be bigger because some have broken off already. But there's these really small mushrooms on his hide there. I think it's really cool sculpt. He's got a creepy skull head. I really think he's beautiful, or she. And I have picked out a little paint scheme. We're gonna go a little basic, says the guy who picked out like 15 paints, but I digress. We'll kind of go over them real quick. So I have our body, and then highlights mostly for like the mushrooms, the eyes. These will kind of be our nature highlights. So definitely going to be using Castellan green. I actually might use this as the main body tone mixed in with some brown. I was going to go for Death Guard, but that might be a little too bright to start off with. But we got Castellan green, and then I'm going to be using Saborate green. And then I doubt we'll go this bright. We might, though, maybe for his eyes with the Moot green. Kind of like our Warpstone plan. Then we got our nice 2 purples. Definitely want to use this either in the recesses, maybe on the top, kind of going for the mossy mushrooms, which are going to be, I was like, I don't know, a Wazdaka red and a Wild Rider red. Again, I don't know if we'll use these. We might. I'm kind of leaning towards no, but nevertheless, I want them on hand. And then, yeah, for the body, we're going to be using Rust Gray, give it a cool look. Really want that to blend into our base if we ever get there. I'm going to do a nighttime forest theme. And then Steel Legion Drab for a brown. We don't want to go too dark, but we also don't want to go too bright. And I don't want red. I want it to be a cool green and blue feel. So picked just a nice brown, no burgundy color in it. And then Death Guard green. And then we'll be using Flayed One Flesh very lightly, possibly for the highlights on like the wood and bark. Eshin Gray is just a great shader and baser. And then we might use Cantor Blue if I want to go darker blue scheme. This would probably go on the bottom of the base, kind of as the ground color, and then be using darker greens to bring up some vegetation. Maybe even the rocks might be Cantor blue, and then dry brush down with an Eschen, and then always Abaddon black for whatever we need Abaddon black for. So yeah, I put them on the side so that I kept these over here so that I knew where I could and could not put the paints. So I'm going to switch these out for the model so I can hide these guys so the camera can focus, because the camera loves all the colors and focusing on those bright tops with the reflective light above, which again, sorry for any, it's not the best background to paint against, and I only have one source light above me and a bunch of ambient light from the warehouse. We don't have our cover up anymore, but we will make do with what we have now. Definitely going to be shading with Seraphim Sepia and Drakenhof Nightshade. I think those will go very nicely over most of the paint that we have here. And then, very excited, one of my favorite paints ever, Typhus Corrosion. I use Typhus Corrosion all the time and for multiple uses. It has very obvious use, the name kind of implies. A lot of people use it for not only rotting but rusting on metal. But I've found that just the way that they have the material in there, whatever it is, dust, wood chips, whatever, or shavings, I find that it's good for vegetation. It's good for making something look muddy or smudged or something drooping, or it's kind of like my go-to almost anything. I used it on a slightly successful snow base, and it was the snow that I was using was too clumpy, and I didn't have the tool to spread it out. And so I thought I might as well try Typhus Corrosion, because I know it's very grainy, but it's a small setting, doesn't have a whole lot of raise to it. Used that on the edges, painted it white, looked great. I love Typhus Corrosion, and I will probably use that heavily on this model. I'll try not to, but ooh, do I love it. So just putting these pants off to the side so they're not in the camera. Perfect. Okay. But yeah, I want to just get into it. There's going to be a lot of probably reaching around, because this likes to steal the spotlight as well. Don't really know how to fix this. It's pretty glaring. I had this I was using. It's slightly better. We'll keep that there. Yeah, lots of reaching back and forth for my water cup and brushes. Also, if you haven't been on our Discord, let me see, I get these ready just a second. We got in a little test kit and I thought about using it tonight, but I already kind of showed off a model on our Discord. But we got these Turbo Dork paints, which are awesome, and the picture doesn't really do it justice, so I really quick wanted to show these. The best way to explain them is it's like wanting to do a colored metallic paint without going through all the steps and processes of putting down your metallic paint and then multiple washes of a color, but it has many other applications too. These are kind of one standard color. This is just a nice dark silver, but they also have like this guy and this guy. Oh, perfect. It does pick it up. So the transition paint, so it'll go from blue to this purple, depending on where the light's hitting. And like this one will go to like that green to a bluish purple over there on the end. This one purple to pink. And orange kind of. Oh, that's a very beautiful shimmer. Look at that. That could be. This reminds me of like burned metal. Ooh, I'm very excited to start playing around with these. Very excited. But yeah, we're gonna get a whole range of these soon, so that everyone can start trying out with them. But if you guys like any of those and want to see more, let me know, because I want to use them as well. But yeah, let's jump into it. gonna scale it up just a little bit. Looks like we even got some vines creeping up the legs here. Really dynamic model. As much as I love, it's kind of the supports coming off here. As much as I love resin, they sometimes can be a little overwhelming with how much detail. Because they often, you're tempted with more detailed models to put in more detailed paint and effort and work. And so just kind of look, the more I look, the more little details there, and I just love it. But I digress again, and let's start. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I can't decide if I want to start blue or green. I think I'm going to start blue. I think that's the best choice. I'm going to start with our Cantor blue, and then I'll dry brush probably our Castellan green on top. Really are going for a nighttime color scheme here. And don't be afraid to talk to me in the chat. I got my stream on this side and Twitch on that side. So if you guys want to say hello, say anything, ask questions, please be my guest. I would love to talk. So I'm going to pick up my paintbrush here. Let's see. I don't really have an in-between size here. I got really big and a nice medium. I'd like something in between these two so I can cover this, because I'm not looking to be too clean. I'm just looking to get the color on here, but it will have to do. Make sure to always shake your paints. And let's go. Actually, this could be nice. I'll show you the difference in paints. With that turbo, got some paint on my finger. That turbo Dork blue that I used, you see it's quite brighter, but when you put it down on something, it becomes dark and kind of adapts that black prime underneath, which you have to prime black. Oh man, I don't know. Did it spill? It's like all over my hand. You have to prime your models black with the Turbo Dorks. You can't get that shimmering and transition effect without the prime of black. And I will talk more about that when I actually paint with them. And I will focus on our Cantor blue. So yeah, just all over the guy here. Most of this is going to get covered up. And we'll be doing the base later, so I'm not too worried about getting paint messily on the base. I am worried about making sure that this blue gets everywhere, so we're just gonna go quickly. It's already primed, and I'm not looking to keep this blue everywhere, so I'm not gonna be doing a second layer. Some more. Yeah, these little mushroom guys on the back, really cool, and they're even slightly detailed, but they're, with how small, I actually don't think that we adjusted the size to make this smaller. I think we just could have made them a lot bigger. With how small the model is, there's already been a few that have broken off just by me lightly pressing or brushing my finger against the back. Yeah, but I really been loving our 3D printer. It works faster than what I imagined it would be, and it can do a lot at once. So this was one of about 6 or 8 models that we printed. Right now in the 3D printer, I got a large dragon being printed out. Really excited to see how he turns out. Also, probably first thing tomorrow when I start a new print set, I think I'm gonna take up half of the palette and the scale and just make a larger one of these guys, a larger Wendigo, as the artist would have it be named, which I think is cool. And I do not know all the lore, or whether fantasy-wise or Native American-wise, of a Wendigo, but I've always been used to. Oh yeah, there's even. Pick that up. Let's see. Gotta make sure that it's where I want you to look, and then show. I don't know if it's gonna pop up. It's just so small. Oh, come on. Come on. What if I say please? What if I offer you a sundae with a cherry on top? No. No. Well, there's a little... Whoop. It's like a stringy vine. And I broke it just by painting over it. I definitely think this is smaller than what was intended. The file came this size. So yeah, I want to print off a larger one. So I really want to see those details, and I also think it'd be, I just thought of having, that'd be so cool. Like not exactly Nurgle, but kind of like a rotting fantasy knight, kind of sulking and riding on top of this. I keep on calling him Mushroom Moose, but he's not a moose, nor are the defining features mushrooms. But yeah, no, I was gonna say, I've always been used to Wendigos being kind of humanoid, so this came out a lot different than what I thought it was gonna be, which I'm glad for, because it's a beautiful model again. I guess I should stop gushing over it and just paint. And that fan is very loud in the audio capture, so sorry about that. Okay. I'll let that dry a little bit and then get my dry brush ready. Not too worried about it mixing a little bit. If anything, that'd be really nice. So we're going to go right into it. Get my dry brush. Huh. That went a lot darker all of a sudden. I wonder what happened. Why did that happen? Oh, it's probably just... Yep, okay. Too much right there. Okay. And let's dry brush. We're going to do a heavy dry brush, so a lot of this blue is going to be hidden. But the recesses being blue is really going to look nice. Already is. Oof. Love it. Alright. That's what I like about dry brushes, is it's more than just like basing a model. You're changing the color of the area, but it's also leaving behind that the undercoat, if intended, and it does this nice shading and highlighting. So it's like instant results. It's always very satisfying, the dry brush. Yeah, these antlers are pretty flimsy too. Hope this does not break on me. I suspected that was going to happen. Bunch of mushrooms just flew off. That's unfortunate. I will show you what the updated larger model looks like when I get there. So I definitely will be making one now. I want to see what it looks like with more detail, bigger, and with all the mushrooms intact. We actually had actually had a cool idea with Jordan to start doing giveaways of the models painted on our stream, whether it's by me or a guest or someone else. Kind of involve you guys a little more. I thought that was a cool idea. Want to hear what you guys think about that. Since it's been a while, I don't have too many people used to the schedule at the moment. So we only got, it's like one viewer right now, so thanks for joining. My dry brush will have a small longevity. Alright, let's see. Oh, I was thinking that might not pick up with the brown background, but it looks pretty good. It's about what it looks like in real life, kind of what we're going for. Yeah. Okay. So next is doing a light dry brush of Steel Legion Drab. And on top of that, we'll be doing a little bit of a Drakenhof Nightshade. And then from there, we might go back over with Castellan Green. But essentially, we are just making lots of layers and differing details for the main body. And then we'll go in with some highlights. But really where it's going to shine is just being a cohesive piece of walking nature. And the mushrooms on its back. Just a nice light dry brush. Not looking for too much brown to show through, just enough to mix with that blue and green. And kind of give it also that the natural brown that a tree would have. I'm really gonna have to. I'm so intrigued and curious to the lore of a Wendigo now. Or mythology, or history, however you would like to see it. And it's nice with the Castellan Green, the brown isn't too vibrant. It's just kind of nicely blending in, kind of hiding itself with the green and vice versa. No, more mushrooms going by the wayside. It's got really creepy legs. I love it. Oh, I love Halloween. Oh, I didn't say it. That's why I picked a spookier model. Not that any of the models I really paint are not more on the spooky side. Halloween is my favorite holiday, though. I've been having this conversation a lot with people. Lots of my friends. Halloween is my absolute favorite. Just lots of great memories over the years. I love this type of weather where you get some cold days, get some warm days, some of those in-betweens with a nice brisk breeze, but a nice warm sun. But also just Halloween itself. It's I've always found that it's like a happy it's a happy holiday of I don't know if I need to do more green. Just loving that. All right, I got to figure out at some point what I'm doing with these horns. Maybe. We always wing it here anyways. I'm gonna go for Typhus Corrosion all over those horns. This might be a bad idea, but we're doing it. All right. To be fair, this Typhus Corrosion pot that I have is old, so I think a lot of the usable. No, I was gonna say it might have settled, but it looks like we are nice and murky still on our palette. Love the murky brown and the little details that come off on it. I doubt you'll see the clumping on camera. Alright, let's get more. Typhus Corrosion goes quick though. I haven't used it in a bit, but when I do, I use a lot of it. Because part of the, excitement of using it is getting those little particles in the paint. And when you don't, you have to grab more, even though the brown might be there. If you're not getting particles, that's half the fun. Yeah, this is, ooh. So tempted just to cover the whole model in this paint. And I wish, I'll see if I can. I tried earlier before the stream started to see if the small details of the horns were coming through, because there's like layers of flat mushrooms going up the horns. Definitely not a detail that the camera could pick up earlier. Yes, okay, beautifully gross. Let's see, I'm just gonna wash my brush real quick. Let's see. Will you show? Trying to get my hand out of there as best as I can. Oh, come on, just focus. Please. Come on. Okay, if I go like slowly. Maybe if I jiggle. Yeah, actually kind of worked. Okay. Oh, kind of. Oh, you can. Look on that back guy back there. I'm worried to point. Oh, come on. Please just stay. But you can see like the mushrooms scaling up the horns, like tree bark. The color doesn't look any different, and that's okay. You can actually kind of see some blue of some spots that I missed, but we're gonna work on these horns later. But yeah, all the gross grainy detail of the horns where the mushrooms aren't, that's the Typhus Corrosion. Okay, gotta check this real quick. Yeah. All right, so now next is, let's see, it's pretty dark. So I'm trying to decide what shade to do. I was going to do Drakenhof, but I think there's enough blue. I think we want to accentuate that brown and green. I actually might put more brown on there, surprisingly. But let's shake up lightly our paint. Get a nice thin but long bristled brush. Nice and soft. Get this on hand, and then we will be spreading this all over for a cohesive look. Be surprised if I'd be surprised if we didn't find a whole lot of missing or hidden details with this wash. If I set it there, it's still off camera. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, it's making that brown pop and the green come back to life. We kind of lost a little bit of the green with the drab that we put on. Definitely want to keep more blue on the underside. Give it a kind of a nighttime shade look. But we don't want to be too stark. Just enough to say, hey, I am murky and coming to haunt you in your night. Actually have a cousin who works a type of construction, and he just for the past, I think, like 2-3 years has had kind of his daytime sleep time schedule swapped. So, and it's not like a curse, it's the only way it works for him. He starts work at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I think, 7, and gets done at 9 the next day. He does it for like 4 days a week or something, and so definitely different schedule for him, because I guess, you know, he goes to bed at some point. I think he goes to bed right when he gets home, so that he is awake for when the kids are around for dinner. It's a hard schedule, though. Definitely would be a hard schedule. Okay. Oh, love it. Okay, that drab mixed with the green, the blue undercoats, and now this shade really have brought out kind of even some fur look to it, which I was not expecting or planning for, but highly welcomed. Oh. No. I don't know what the trick is. I feel like sometimes different things work and others don't. Oh, that should be primed. There we go. Yeah, look. So we got that green, we have the darker brown, and then that shade lightened up some of the brown and left some other darker spots. And that, oh, like that rib cage. I'm just geeking out right now. I am loving this model. Very happy with this model. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry, and then we're gonna go in with, where did I put it? I have misplaced the steel drab. Where's the brown? That's hiding behind the cup. We're gonna go in and do some highlights of brown, and then barely, just at very pinpoint places, use some flayed one. Probably a flayed one mixed with the Still Legion drab to kind of darken it down. And then also doing some highlights of this Death Guard green. And then we'll have the skull. I want the skull to kind of be just a little different, possibly, but want to get, yeah, I'm going to do those eyes green, the moot green for sure. And then, we might keep the antlers black. We'll see where it goes. I am all over the place right now. I'm imagining all these cool things I could do. But right now, while that is drying, we're actually going to mix some of the Saborite green with our Castellan green. And the effect we're going for here is kind of a mossy green patch, maybe even some Irish grass that the mushrooms will be growing out of. So we're going to be doing presumably a 1-to-3 ratio. Sorry, a 1-to-2 ratio of Sabolite being the 2 between these two greens. Seeing how that works. Get a glob there. Get some more. Okay. Just to darken this down just a little bit. Because we don't really want, there we go. We don't really want the glowy effect of the green, but we do want it to be brighter. And I know you're probably thinking we probably could have just gone for forest green, but that's a little too dark and tame. I want it to look, because we're growing mushrooms out of this guy's back, so we want that nice muted bright green. Get just a little on the brush. Actually, you know what? Said I wouldn't. I think we're just going to dry brush it. Blowing up my brush real quick. Okay. Man, I just love dry brushing too much. It does all the things I want it to do. I'm convinced that you could finish a model with only dry brushing. It'd be a little hard. It might not look the best, but tabletop ready, yeah. Oh yeah. We will be keeping it shorter tonight. Not too short, just shorter than usual, because I got the prints stopped earlier than I thought. And that could mean that they are done quicker than I thought, but also means that something could have went wrong. I want to make sure that we get that addressed. Yeah. This kind of looks like a natural highlight on top of there. And if we need to, we'll, and I don't think we'll need to, but we might have to do just a little bit more shade to bring some of that back up, which I don't think we will. I do think I need to put another layer of shade probably on the legs up here. The legs back here are great, but it looks like not enough shade and wash got back into the recesses of these front two legs. So we'll mend that in a bit. Yeah, but now we're gonna do that mix of flayed one flesh and this drab to do some light highlighting. With this highlight, it doesn't do a whole lot whether or not you have more paint or less paint on your brush. I'm going to take that back right now. It does matter if you have more paint. You don't want extra paint on your brush when you're highlighting. So that is a nightmare. But when you're getting less and less from that medium nice point, the only thing you're really doing to yourself is making so you have to dip in your paint more often because you're running out of paint quicker. But when we're using such small details here, and I don't want it to be too bright, I'm gonna be, and when we're using, so what I'm trying to get to is I want the colors underneath to show through. But when we're using a small tip or small counted bristle brush, it's hard to use diluted or watered down paints to have that show through, because usually what we'll do, since you're putting such a small amount down, you'll put the line of paint, and if it's really diluted and there's not a lot, there's nowhere for it to go, it will contract back on itself, and we don't want that. And so what we're going to do is be coming back to this palette a lot. So I'm going to keep it right here, but we're going to be coming back to this palette a lot because I'm going to get the tip of this brush, then I'm going to pull back a lot of paint so there's barely anything coming off, and then we're going to find a highlight, get it, and then go back, which is a little more tedious. But see, even there, I just forgot to unload some of the paint, so I got a little more on there than I wanted. Yeah, but what this does is it does very fine, not translucent. Translucent isn't the right operating word, but just not as abrasive highlighting, I guess is where I'm going. I'm sorry, I'm really trying to focus. So I'll talk to you in a second. I won't try to force myself to talk. I really want this to turn out the way that I'm envisioning it. I've now at this point pushed a lot of paint back into the brush. There was a little bit of longevity to paint here. There's nothing really I can do about that except for wash the brush out, but I don't feel that too necessary at the moment. It's dry enough to where there's not an alarming amount of paint coming off. Which is like a really bad ability, right? The survival okay. Which makes me feel bad, so like, I don't have a whole lot to remember. How is it people? I love stuff. So like, you should look at the stuff. You talk about it. Oh, really? Yeah, he has like 4,000 kind of dry brushing right now. That's okay. Guess I could have done that, but I wanted that quote-unquote translucent effect. I don't know what an in-between word is, because there's translucence and there's opaque. I don't know any good in-between adjectives. that's kind of what we're looking for. To be honest, that kind of dry brushing I was doing at the end, I think covered a little bit more than I wanted. So I'm thinking at the moment, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a very watered down Castellan green, get the opposite effect, and then we will reshade those front legs, and then we'll do spot shading for anything that isn't up to snuff. Okay, now this is very watered down. We shall see how it goes. I'll ditch the voice, I'm sorry. Nice, kind of working like a shade. We're going for it here. Nice, nice, nice. We don't want it to cover up everything though, because we want some of that blue underneath to keep showing through. I'm going to cover this whole skull, however, except for the top. So I do want, those glowing eyes to come through. I've been dropping this model on the table a lot. I've been looking afterwards to see if I got any paint on, and I haven't. So don't snitch me out to Jordan. Get some of this blue, surprisingly. Mix it in. Do the same thing. Alright. Okay. A little hard to move that around. Too much paint. Okay. Again, I apologize for the low talking. Just really focused on making sure that I'm not missing any beat, because I don't want this bluish green to dry on me in places I don't want it to dry. Okay, awesome. Mended fix. It's been a little bit since I showed the model, so I will Up. Take that off the screen so it doesn't steal the show. Let's see, okay. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I need you to focus. Okay, there we go. That headlight is not doing me justice. You can kind of see in the skull, the mouth. I really like that the brown and green is showing through. Kind of some of the blue, so that's nice. The camera's really not doing it justice. Kind of spots, especially in that back thigh, that long gash. Some nice transitioning blue to green there. Yeah. All right. Well, per usual, a good way. Where's my Cadillac green? There it is. A good way to show progress is to get one spot looking really nice and done. So we are gonna get some Cadillac green, put it down, a little bit of water, mix it. Since it's such a small amount, we're gonna put it in real quick. Make sure I don't have too much paint. Okay. We got another viewer. Welcome. What are you guys up to tonight? Right now, if you haven't just joined, we are painting up a 3D printed model here at Game Grid. This is a Wendigo. I primed it black. Here we are here, having a really hard time focusing the camera tonight. There we go. But right now I'm working on the eyes, and there's some mushrooms on the back. We're going to be doing those mushrooms next, but we got blue, brown, greens kind of mixing for that body, and we'll be highlighting some of those parts even more in a bit, but we're going to let that fully dry because we don't want any blending necessarily for our highlights. And for the last part of this eye, we'll be using this moot green. Yeah, go ahead and comment in Twitch. Got it right up in front of me. Would love to talk. We're not going to be on too much longer tonight. Barely getting inside this eye. We don't want to overdo it and cover up that Cadillac green we just put. Just kind of down at the corner of the eye socket is what we're going for. Nice shaky hands. Awesome. Okay. And I'll show that to the camera, see if the camera can pick it up. Let's see. Are you gonna focus for me? Come on. This Sprake, how you doing, dude? Well, thanks for swinging by. You haven't missed a whole lot. We started. The biggest thing is trying to get this camera to focus. I got a lot of not only actual background noise, but background noise of a non-table, only one floodlight above me, so it's not really ideal situations. I mean, you can kind of tell with the fuzz. We'll see if that comes up later. Yeah, we started with Cantor blue all over the model. Then we went to a dry brush of green, dry brush of brown, diluted blue again, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, this is ooh, actually, that's a great idea. I'm really bad at just taking pictures along the way. I'll take a picture now and then see where I get later. It's a good point. Thank you. Okay. I think I hear Miguel coming back here. So we get to say hello. Yeah, come on back. We just got Sprake and another guy hiding in the background. What? Sorry, you're gonna hear this again, Sprake. So with all the 3D printing that we've been doing, yeah, this is a Wendigo, quote unquote. It's not the Wendigo I'm used to, but yeah.
That is a deer.
That's what I was thinking. But he's got like this. It's like moss and mushrooms growing out of it. Yeah.
So he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. That's about.
Is this all the stuff you've printed so far?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, these are sweet.
Yeah, they're really nice actually. We're getting ramped up and ready to start letting people paint with it soon. Oh yeah, what were you painting, Sprake? Am I saying that right? I've always said that. Never corrected me, but I don't correct people either when they mispronounce moose. How'd your game go, Miguel? Oh no, that's too much. That's too much. Okay.
I got it.
You got it.
Yeah, it was a great game. Like Russ is an awesome player, super great guy.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Which like always makes playing so much better. Which like I haven't played anyone who
It's like awful.
Yeah, who's awful. It's probably because I'm the awful one. So
what are you talking about?
Play against myself.
Oh no! Come on! Oh no! Okay, that was close. Perfect. Okay, that's what I want.
Yeah, it was good. It was, definitely thought I was gonna lose it there for a second.
Oh, did he have you in the first half? They had us in the first half.
Yeah, he was doing real well. He brought down my dragons. Like he had one at one wound, and another one at 3.
Okay.
Oh man, it was scary.
Where'd my brush go?
Where are you looking for?
I'm looking for my angle brush. ¿Por qué? ¿Dónde está? Oh, that was a failed 3D print. Where'd it go? Oh, I need that one. How did I possibly lose it? I didn't throw anything at you, did I? No. Ooh, your Behemoth army. I will actually. I'm gonna look at that right now. Let's see. Sprake's saying that he's building his. Let's see. Oh, look at that, dude. Look on that. Oh wow, I love your skin tone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love to teach me how to paint skin like that.
Yeah,
and I love the color on the.
Oh, the shell.
Yeah, on the shell.
Look,
looks so good.
That's super good, man. Holy cow! I'm gonna give you a shout out when I'm done with my stream. A nice dry brushing on the blue, like not a gauntlet, I guess a wristband. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Good job. Yeah, I hate skin. Yeah, dude, I'll teach you eyes if you teach me skin, because I've never been good at skin tone.
Yo, I will teach you. Shoot, what am I good at?
Dude, you're good at everything.
I will teach you how to base, even though I'm teaching everyone how to base.
Let's see, oh no. What is, there it is. You were scared? Yeah, does painting skin suck? Was it, I don't know, like what's your process? While you're kind of typing up, I'll tell my process for eyes. So I used to, really common thing that people do with eyes, especially because usually everyone starts out, Space Marines, right? And so everyone, the nice easy way to do it is you put, just the pupil part, because there's a raised part of the eye for Space Marines, white, and then you get a shade or wash, and you do 1 to 2. I usually do like a nice layer overall of the eye socket, and then I let the second one pool at the bottom half to make it look like a transition, covers about half the white, makes a glowing effect, your eye's done. But that doesn't tend to work on fantasy models unless you're going for a glowing effect or they're wearing a helmet. And also, it's just not my favorite. And I found an easier way. You just, really all you have to do is you put down a base color, so like what I just did, and you don't want your base color, it's not like you're doing a mid-tone anything. It's not like you're doing armor, skin, fur, basing, whatever. Your mid-tone or your base is going to be a light color. You're not going to start out with like doing a Space Marine eyes where you're doing a dark color. You don't want to do that. You want to go straight for your lighter base, and then you go for the color that you would usually highlight for anything else. So I did Sabarite green, and then you do a very small amount. It kind of depends on what type of eye shape you're working with. If it's a sunken eye, if the eye is coming out, whatever. This one's a sunken eye, and it's on a downward slope, and so there's no point on putting paint on the top half of the socket, and I also don't want it to be breaching outside of the hole. I doubt you can kind of tell it, kind of it was focused for a second. It's really chipping me right now. But so I put paint on like the half crescent, the little crescent on the bottom, barely going up into the eye socket. And then the last part, super simple, is you take usually an off color, which is the best way to do it. I would have not, even if I had the green shade here, I would have not used a green shade and put it in the eye socket, because you want depth, and you're going to get that depth by doing a different color. So I used Drakenhof blue, especially because the Sabarite's more on a teal side. But if you're trying to do like a glowing or even just kind of a matte like yellow eye, I wouldn't use, there's not really a yellow wash, but I still wouldn't really do the orange wash. I'd probably do a red because it's a little more stark, but still on that warmer side of the color palette. So that's the trick, is when you're using the shade, and also you want to do a light shade, you don't want it to fill the gap, you just want it around the sides and edges. Do an alike color, but not the same color. That's really pushed it over the edge for me. But yeah, no, let me know about the skin. And Miguel is anticipating that as well. But you have to play 2 more games to get your 4th dragon, is that right?
One.
You have 1 more game to play your 4th?
I'm playing Will on Monday, so I'll take my loss on Monday.
Will Lane?
Yeah, no, Will Sawyer.
Oh, is Will undefeated?
No.
No?
No, but he's playing Luminite.
Oh yeah. The Luminite are doing really good right now.
They are 5-0 the Age of Sigmar tournaments.
Are they really?
Yeah, you just run 60 archers.
Oh. Okay, so for those rewatching this later, Sprake says, so for the giant, I feel like I cheated. I was super simple. It was Vallejo dark brown. He doesn't remember the name, but he washed an Agrax on top with, and then a dry brush of the same brown. Nice, I like that method too. But instead of up-down dry brush, he did it like a dabbing. Kind of like are you talking dabbing like a makeup brush? Kind of like, I guess this is the wrong one to show, poofier and like dabbing like that? Is that kind of the motion you're talking about? And you reduce, yeah, he says yes, and you reduce the streakiness. I like that, actually. That's I'm gonna have to try that. I really like that idea. I've never thought about dabbing. I actually, so who you were just playing Ross, and I was talking to Ross. Russ. Oh, I'm sorry, Russ. I called him Ross to his face. He was talking about a fur texture that you can get with dry brushing. I had never heard of that before, but he's talking. We both really couldn't. We have a new viewer. Welcome. But he was talking about you get it thicker and clumpier, but you're gonna go lighter on. So like you don't want the dry brush to be touching the model too hard. You're gonna do like really light and fast. And he says, from what he's seen, it starts light, and then because the clumpiness, it really drags on some paint in the line that thins out, so it makes it look like a fur detail. I don't know. I told him I just usually punish myself and do green stuff, but
Dang, that's cool.
yeah, no, I'm gonna have to try it. But yeah, I have been talking and not painting, so I will get back to doing something while talking, hopefully. But yeah, welcome to our third viewer. You just missed a lot of explaining and talking, so I'm sorry, but we will not be going over that again. But how are you doing? What are you doing tonight? Are you painting more giants tonight, Sprig? See, I am going to be going for the vines going up his leg right now. It's got these kind of vines curling up around his leg. Yeah, I was telling the stream earlier, Miguel, that I think this model's too small because even just painting some stuff like mushrooms have broken off, some vines have broken off. So I think I need to print this guy again at a larger scale. Do you have a printer at home?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I wish. So many things I would print.
Would you want a 3D printer or a resin?
Oh man, shoot. Probably resin. Just so I can print basic material.
Oh, interesting.
And like towel drones. So expensive.
I totally forgot to bring that head for you because I was gonna text you and ask you which one you wanted, because you can have.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, you wanted one of each,
Yeah, I mean, I'll just like
or whatever.
whatever bits you don't want. I can just pay you for them.
Nah, you don't have to pay me.
But like, I feel bad taking so many bits.
Ah, you're fine, dude.
Will's gonna charge me. I feel like you should too.
I mean, we'll see. But I mean, it's okay. I just like the community growing. Plus,
Well, I am using them specifically for my tutorial.
yeah. See, the perfect excuse. I like it.
I'll be on Monday if anyone wants to learn how to base
Oh yeah,
decently.
yeah.
Well,
Miguel is. Did you switch to Miguel, or are you still Migglypuff?
I think I'm Miguel. Because I think there was a rule where like, hey, change to your name.
Oh really?
I might be Miguel.
Is it the mouse now? It was doing so good for the first half. I'm trying to just all I want camera is to show the vines and putting up his leg. There. Oh, there was like a split second. Yeah, but I'm just doing the little vine tendrils on the back. I have a lot of words I use interchangeably. I apologize. Will Rocky! This is... it's funny because you had the same reaction that I did when I read the file name. But this is a Wendigo. I was talking earlier on the chat that this is not the Wendigo that I'm used to. I'm used to, Indian lore or folklore kind of being humanoid, but it's like a zombie elk.
Oh yeah, something else.
I keep on saying moose too, but it's got like if you would focus, camera, life could be easy. But it's got like mushrooms on the back. That's what the bumpy texture is on the back. It's got like vines on the legs and horns. Really cool.
Heck yeah.
Try putting your hand behind the model. Okay.
Yeah, it usually helps to focus.
Oh, really? Behind the model? Kinda. Now nothing's focused in it. What about that one?
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. It's muted now, but that's okay. At least we're just going to show detail. Yeah, what happened? Do I do that to get the color back? What do I do? Well, it's like a really weird muted color. But yeah, it's got like these mushrooms, these vines. Its feet are terrifying. You can kind of see these like long, yeah. Yeah, I actually really like this model. We have 4 now. Mahaklib. Disappointing as the 3rd viewer wants the whole rundown. I demand it. Try putting your hand behind. So it's like the evil Rudolph. Dang it! Now I have to name this. Like, if there's like some lore of Santa killing reindeer, it's got to be the first one dead. So this will be Dasher, or Prancer, maybe Donner or Dixon.
Just slash.
Just Slasher. His name is now Donner.
Dahmer.
That's really good. Oh man, this is Dahmer. And if I ever get a knight to ride on his back, his name would be Jeffrey. That's not good. I can't do that. wait, Hippledor, or wait, how do you say that? Hippledor?
It's Rudolph backwards.
Oh, this is too much fun. This is awesome. It's Rudolph backwards. Oh man, it's so much better when you guys join the chat. Be super boring just talking to myself. Rudolph backwards. Oh jeez. How do you even pronounce that? Yeah, but what are you guys working on tonight? Mahaklib and Will Rock. I started it being I did blue, like Cantor blue, really dark, and then dry brushed on top a green, and then dry brushed a brown, and then darkened it down with a wash of blue and a wash of brown. So the body's essentially done. All it needs now is some highlights, but I am working on these nice tendril vines creeping up. And once I get all the vines done, they kind of reach up into the model. And so this muted green that I did on top for the mushroom patch, I really think will tie it all together. Which I always like, but it honestly is kind of frustrating. It's one of the... I kind of go through phases of like disliking different things about miniature building and painting. And especially over the last 2 years, because I really got into it rather than just kind of like a side hobby. You get used to a lot of it and you just learn to love it. But something that has always been kind of annoying is like that kind of rewarding feeling, and also like the model feeling like it's going well is like far down the line after starting. And they can get so frustrating and disheartening at times, and you just kind of got to push through it. Because it's going to get better, and it's going to look great, and the colors will blend, so far as you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. But I digress. That just takes some time. And sometimes, especially if you don't have 5 hours to dedicate to a model that night, the days can just drag, and you can kind of feel like you don't want to get back to the model, and you're not having fun. That's kind of one of the hard things in miniature painting, is just the endurance. Keep on going. And then you can be me and get close to being done, and then you completely mess something up or slip your hand or not paying attention, and then you have to go back and fix something. And that's when things start getting thrown. I'm joking. I've actually never really been like an angry guy. It's always kind of bothered me. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I never got into a fight in junior high school. Definitely had opportunities of people kind of pushing me around, but I kind of look back and I'm glad in a way, but there's also like there's a part of me that feels like I never really been good at letting my frustration kind of flow and take care of itself. I always kind of push it back. But I have someone in my life who's very, very good at letting their frustrations flow. And I've come to adore it in a way. Just because it's part of that person.
Is it Parker?
No, I'm not going to say the name. No, it's not Parker. Don't guess again. I'm being discreet for a reason, Miguel. But, but he'll. Oh dang it! But but the person is very good at going from 0 to infinity very quickly. It makes me laugh so hard. Probably you shouldn't. I don't know. I think that's kind of, whether it's unfortunate or not, I kind of feel like that's American humor, especially like in our generation, growing up and watching, SpongeBob with Squidward or Fairly Odd Parents with, I don't know. For some reason, it's probably for the worst, but for some reason, American humor is kind of evolving into like rage in a way. I don't know if that makes sense. Do you agree?
You're asking me or the folks in general?
Well, yeah, both.
I'd say yeah. I think a lot of comedians yell more.
Oh, that's true. Like Bill Burr and Jim Gaffigan. Yeah.
Bill Burr is just all that is a show.
It's not necessarily American though. I used to really not like Bill Burr, but he has grown on me.
And did you see for the Magic players out there?
No, yeah.
Jeweled Lotus?
Jeweled Lotus?
Yeah, it's
No.
One of the spoilers from Commander Legends. It is a 0 mana artifact, and you can sacrifice it to add 3 mana of any one color, and you can spend this mana only to cast your commander.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's so good. I mean, even from the get-go, that's like a free commander tax annihilator, and then some.
Well, did you see the Orzhov Angel that you could pay 2 life instead of paying the commander?
Yeah, I
tax?
did see that one.
And then anytime an opponent casts a spell, you gain 2 life?
Wait, so what's the combo there that you're alluding to?
No, there's no.
No, you're just making. Yeah, that's actually really good. Dang. I'm really excited. I was really excited for what's the set that just barely came out?
Zendikar?
Yeah, I was really excited for Zendikar. I didn't get to play in it. But surprisingly, my excitement wasn't matched by a lot of the community. I guess it was just kind of me that was excited. But I'm majorly excited for this as well, because Commander's my jam. I think Commander is a lot of people's jams now, because it's just the superior format. But like I wasn't excited for Eldraine. I wasn't excited for Theros. A lot of people are excited for Theros.
You weren't excited for Ikoria?
No, well, Ikoria was fun and like it was intriguing before it came out. So like I was excited to experience it, because it was like a new thing, Let's see. I put paint as I start painting more. I noticed that. Yeah, for sure. There are certain stages where I'm 100% sure it's going to be garbage. Yeah, and then you're just tempted to throw the model away.
Dude, that's how I feel like 80% of the way through.
Right? Oh, man.
Oh, this might not suck as much as I thought.
That's why, and when I was doing illustration at BYU, one of the quotes from an artist I really liked was finished, not perfect. The idea of like, you're not going to get better like the idea is wrong that you're going to get better by producing better stuff. Like you're going to get better by finishing things and like finishing projects. The more you get under your belt, then naturally things will come. And I think that's super true. Such a good lesson. We're looking for finished, not perfect. And eventually, things will start coming together. And also just the idea that me and Will and Miguel always harp on is, you should be painting to impress yourself, no one else, right? Just if you like the model, if you're liking it, then you have won, my friend. Yeah, and I think, honestly, I just think it's a good lesson in life. And I wish I applied that or knew that more in like junior high and high school. I definitely had this kind of quit culture in my head growing up of, if it's too hard or if I don't think it's going to go well, like I was always good and still can be if I don't catch myself at imagining what the outcome's going to be and then convincing myself that it's probably going to be that outcome, so I'm going to quit before I get myself hurt type of thing. And that's just one of the most harmful things you can do, especially to like your learning self. I think it's so much more rewarding long-term, short-term to finish something and learn the full lesson instead of quitting halfway through because you're sure it's not going to go anywhere, and then you don't really learn anything. You just learn how to quit more easily. And I just need to be better at seeing something through. And miniature painting, surprisingly enough, or maybe unsurprisingly enough, has really taught me that of just, it's not going to be exactly how you wanted, but it's eventually going to. Whether it's this model or the next one, you just got to finish it and learn the full lesson, Don't give up on the relationship. Don't give up on school. Don't give up on that burrito.
I mean, there are times when you should give up on all of those things.
Well, that's true. I mean, especially on the burrito part, there's a lot of times when you should give up on the burrito.
Oh, that was probably the one I would say least impactful.
You're like, the burrito should be finished, but...
What was the least harmful one? Sometimes school's not your jam and you gotta go to trade school or do something else. That's okay too.
Oh, what? No, yes. Let me...
And sometimes relationships are abusive. You should definitely...
Miguel, I know. I'm like going for like this like nice uplifting attitude, and you're like...
I'm just saying,
making me look bad.
If you're watching,
no, it's very true. If a situation is ever bad, get out of it. And I'm not one to speak about school. I mean, I haven't finished school yet, so do it for the burrito, says Will.
See, I told you.
And that trying is the first step to failure. Absolutely. It's like the whole.
I would say failure is the first step to like success.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's very rare. I don't know if I can think of an example at the moment, but it's very rare that someone gets such a rewarding victory after, like, trying once, Like, that's not how it works. And also, like, not to harp, but I don't think that's ever how it should work. I mean, nothing... Oh, yes, this is one of my favorite quotes from the Bare Naked Ladies Band. Promise it's PG. Just nothing worth having doesn't come without some kind of fight. Kick at the darkness until it bleeds daylight. Just if it.
Is that from the It's Been 1 Week song?
No, it's from Lovers in a Dangerous Time. Just this. I've always loved that idea of if it's worth having, it's probably not going to become. It's not going to come easy,
Yeah, that is actually a quote that I heard from an ex. It's like nothing worth having is ever easy.
Right.
Not that she came up with that, but
right.
She quoted it to me. It goes back to, I don't know.
Yeah, and it can sound kind of like a depressing quote. Like, I remember when I first heard it, I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. Like, it sounds self-defeating in a way if you take it that way of, if you're not working hard, then you don't deserve it. And I don't believe that's what the quote's saying at all. I just think it's a reminder that even if it's not easy, it's worth trying, right?
I love Will's comment. I used to suck at painting. Now after 2.5 years, I still suck. But I got over here to just do it anyway. I think that is the most important part.
Oh yeah, it's the attitude, right?
Yeah, it's just like letting go. Because at the end of the day, like, if you're not painting for competition, like,
It's
it's gonna judge you, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I started this path to glory thinking, man, I really want to try for best painted army. And then I looked at everyone else's army and I was like, that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna paint to have fun.
Well,
You know?
yeah, for sure. Or even like I'm lucky. I get to do this stream for Game Grid, and it kind of puts me in a little bit of a position of influence, but I'm not at all the best painter, especially not in our community. Even on Discord, there are plenty of you who are further ahead in multiple skills than I am. And I always try to remind people of that I am here to help, and I love sharing and working with you guys. But it was really hard for me to convince myself to do this, just out of worry of knowing that I wasn't the best, and I'm still not the best. But that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it's fun. I'm doing it so that I can get experience. I'm doing it so I can connect with people, and also it's this. It's kind of like this scary motivator. This idea of like if I don't practice in my off time, or if I don't really put 100% into this, then it's going to be embarrassing, right? And so it's been very good for me to push myself, having this responsibility of being on this stream. And I feel like, honestly, like being friends with you and like building with you and painting with you, and I feel everyone should have a painting or building buddy, because it really pushes you. It makes you feel like I want to keep up with this person, you know?
Yeah, oh man, this is another reason COVID sucks. But like, if you can get a community, like, not a community, but like one or two people
Yeah.
that you hang out with, you paint with, obviously socially distance while you do it, or wait till this dies down a bit. But it is just so helpful. Or just do something over Discord.
Yeah.
Like if we wanted to start a Discord channel for let's hobby night, and just jump in and see if anyone else is on. Like,
Well, that would be such a good idea. Like,
that'd be cool.
it's kind of what I guess my original plan was for this, of just people can have this on the background, we can all just paint it together, and hopefully that it evolves into that at some point.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with Miguel of just find, whether it is for you right now our Discord channels, which I'm very grateful for, and honestly, it's not just flattery when I praise you guys. Like I really am just so happy and excited for how much friendship you guys are showing to each other. But yeah, just find some people that are positive influences on any hobby or aspect of your life, whether it's work or basketball, I don't know, hockey, fighting, heaven forbid, I don't know, just
Chess boxing.
chess boxing. You were the one who told me about that, weren't you? I cannot believe that chess boxing is a thing. I want to watch it so bad. Which is probably bad of me that I want to watch it, but chess boxing. But yeah, definitely have my father's curse of ranting and talking, so I will stop now. But thank you. This has been Evan and Miguel's TED Talk. We're not done yet. Just making a joke. Let's try this new skill. It's awesome because it focuses, but then that color just like leaves. It's so weird. Let's bring the color back. Why does it do that? Now the color's gone too. What do I gotta do? I gotta bring back like a bright color? That actually surprisingly kind of worked. Oh, it's just so muted. Yeah. Oh well. I'm going to be painting just for a little bit longer. Like I said, I got to get back to those 3D prints, but I think this is going to start showing a lot more when I put some more brown highlights here, so it's not such a muted body tone. And then also when I start putting some of these red, orange, and possibly green, but definitely, I don't know, maybe some mixture of these for the mushrooms on top. I really think that'll be fun. Actually, it's gonna take me, we're gonna call it there. I'm gonna continue on this model next time. I think that'd be really fun. But instead of just starting new prints, I gotta wash the ones that we finished, because you have to wash resin before you work with it. So I gotta wash it, and then I gotta clip them, and then I gotta cure them. So it's gonna take a little bit of time. But thank you so much, guys, for bringing. Yeah, no, I gotta head out as well. So I will post a pic. Thank you so much to you four for joining, and